Hey, dude. So you really expect me to believe that you never podcasted or did any kind of radio before? Really? Come on. I'm not an idiot, dude.
Because this is us catching up. Dude, I used to drink...
I'm not saying another word to my lawyers here.
Dude, I used to drink... Like... Remember I used to work overnight and then stay up all day.
Mm-hmm.
I must have had 4 Red Bulls and at least 1 pack of cigarette by noon the next day after working all night.
Vince, you would have 2 or 3 electronic cigarettes in your hand, and they're all different flavors, so you can make fruit punch out of them.
Oh my god!
Like, you were a pile.
Dude, that was before anyone vaped. That was before like those things even like existed really. I had to buy those things from China. Like they weren't here yet. It was before like Enjoy and like all those like other ones were in Wawas and stuff. I was like, I want to quit smoking. So I got the e-cigarette.
So you just smoked in bed. So you smoked 24/7.
Dude, yo, I used to smoke e-cigarettes for like an hour at a time non-stop playing online poker in college. That's what I would do. Dude.
I always liked it when you got the caramel crushes or camel crushes and you let them crush it for you.
Oh, dude, that was just one more addictive thing to do. I used to love those camel crushes. Just pop. Ah.
Random like city trips.
Dude, random, like, it's a Thursday night. You want to go? All right, let's go.
That's how I got the money for the beach house.
What's that?
That's how I got the money for the beach house.
Oh yeah, that's how you went. Me, you, and went down there, right? Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was a fun night. I think we all did well. Weren't we at the table just like crushing it?
Yeah, we all won.
I think that was probably like the last time I won an AC. AC's been brutal to me. That's why I've stayed away. Actually, I go down there sometimes and I don't gamble though. I mean I do. But it doesn't have a hold on me like it used to.
Yeah, you can walk away.
Like it used to be like, oh my god, dude, I've like fought so many demons to get to where I'm at. Like,
you remember when you would always just like buy sunglasses and buy hats and buy watches?
Yep, there was vanity, definitely. I had to go through vanity.
So your life is just the 7 deadly sins.
I'm on gluttony right now. I'm trying to master food. That's why I'm doing all these things.
Sloth.
It's procrastination, definitely. That's it. Well, the thing about gluten is, like, you know, like all these hurdles I've gone through, like the sugar. I got through all these hurdles, like caffeine, nicotine, gambling, this, that, and the other thing. And then the last thing I'm trying to give up is gluten. And gluten, you make seitan out of it. So you have this, like, I'm at seitan as far as the demons of food go. So I have to beat that one, and that's it. It's like the final boss.
I don't know. I never thought you ever really needed to give anything up, though. I think you just need to, like, control it and do moderation.
Here's what I learned
Am I just, like, too robotic? Am I just too measured?
The thing is, that's fine for some people, but I can't even give myself that little bit because I will start taking and taking. Like if I have 1 sip of caffeine, I'll need that next one. Or if I have a cigarette, I'll need that next one. Like I've always gotten back thinking I could do that. I have control over it now. The only thing I understand is that I have no control over it, so I have to do it this way. Like I have to only drink distilled water. I have to.
So what you're saying is that you're a crazy person.
I am a crazy person. It's self-mastery and self-control. And I learned the only way to control myself is to not give myself even an inch.
You have to kneecap yourself. It's tasty though, right?
Very sweet. It's good though. Come on, pass me my bag. Want to start rolling this up? Do you know how to roll them up or no?
Yeah, but I suck at it. So good.
I used to, you know what's funny? I was going to talk to you about this because I had the feeling you were going to say that to me. I used to not know how to do it as well. And then I realized, I said, you know what? Idiots can do it. I can do it.
Right. Actual idiots.
Actual idiots. So I learned how to do it, and I did it, and it works. Now that I said that, it's not going to turn out good. But with you, Jim, you're a craftsman.
Oh, it's not that I can't do it, it's just I don't do it enough. I'm affected. And then I kind of like got away from it and just went to the space marine.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So like the laziest of all of it, you know?
Sloth. That's the one, me being late today, sloth.
Yeah.
What else is there? There's sloth, there's gluttony. Vanity. I know all these off the top of my head. I could rattle them off, but I just can't right now. Sloth,
Well, we're at
vanity,
3, so we're
wrath.
pretty good. What?
Wrath.
Wrath.
I never really had that one.
Anger, so rank, that's in it. Wrath is anger,
Yeah, I
right?
never really had that one yet.
Should we look this up or no?
Yeah, you can. While I'm doing this. I hope the rain isn't too noisy.
I hope it is.
It's really funny because I have in my bag right now. I have all I bought like $200-300 worth of like recording equipment.
So like, what's annoying about this is that like I type in 7 deadly sins and the first hit is a comic book.
Damn internet! It's got too much information.
Greed, gluttony, lust, envy, sloth, wrath, pride.
I'm sorry. Was that pride? Okay.
You need them all again?
Yeah, say it. Say it louder and slower.
Greed. Are you picking me up? Gluttony, lust, envy, sloth, wrath, pride.
Yeah, those are definitely all hurdles people have to go through. So what I've done
After
is
this commercial break.
So what I've done is like I've just tried to take all religions and figure out what they're all trying to say, and then that's the instructions on this shit
Of what you're doing?
of life. Oh, you want to see something hilarious? Look at this. So what this is so I had to do a food truck event at TCNJ, right? So you have TCNJ requesting me to bring my truck to their graduation festivals,
Okay.
right? And then Rutgers also, I did Rutgers Day. Dude, these are colleges I didn't even get into. I didn't get into these colleges, and now they're inviting my business to their graduation festivals.
I'm grabbing a hoodie actually. I'm cold. You're okay?
I'm fine.
If you need.
Aw. Oh, my sister's not home either, so I can't. She can't send you the list of
Delete this shit then.
appeal for the podcast. And I would ask my parents, but they think I was a crazy person. I'm already like I'm getting them back.
Would your parents say like, why the hell is Will Smith in front of Jim?
Yeah, we love Jim.
Your parents are great.
Yeah, they love them some Jim. You're going to see Jim? Oh my God, how is he? And how are you?
Hanging in there.
Yeah, getting by day by day.
Yeah.
You get to where you're going.
Yeah, oh absolutely. I've been saying this a lot lately, that like the way I deal with problems is that they all take work, they all take effort, but every single problem that you ever had, you've gotten past.
Every single
So
one.
so why am I gonna like freak out right now about this problem? Why am I gonna like stress out? Why am I gonna lose my shit? Instead of like, let's work towards it. You know?
You'll know you'll get there.
We're gonna get through it.
That's helped me out a lot, and I've formed that way of thinking as well with this whole business, because everything I come up against is so daunting. Like, think about when I had Governor's Ball. You know, you saw me go from having a food truck at a Trenton food truck festival.
Yeah.
To Loretta Winery to Governor's Ball.
Are you doing the winery again?
Yeah, I'll be back at the winery.
Those were fun.
Yeah, I really want to use those things to promote the meal delivery service.
Yeah.
So I grew really fast, and like without knowing, dude, I don't have restaurant experience, and I was serving Governor's Ball in 6 months of owning this business.
You should take a cooking class.
That'd be a good place to start. Owning 2 food trucks.
3 years ago.
Yeah. You should take a cooking class. People always say that. So you own a food truck? So you must love to cook. I'm like,
Totally.
no, not really.
Just so you know you're smoking most of that.
Nah, we are.
Not right now.
It's nice though, right?
Yeah.
It's like this might have been one of my best ones. Probably the best.
Proud of you, dude.
Saved it for you, man. This is special. Me and Jim Grog. Wow.
Okay, Brandon.
That's it. One puff.
I had space for you too.
Remember that? Remember the wiffle ball bong? That was the one time I got you to smoke. Dude, that was. Why did I come up with that? Or how did that happen?
You were high.
Well, yeah. But then, dude, remember I made I cut a little slit. So I made a wiffle ball bong.
And that's why it didn't work though.
And then I cut that little slit and
That's
put
why it
clear
didn't
tape
work.
on it so you can see the smoke. It's so weird, man. Like, I can't believe, like, all the shit, like, I've been doing, you know?
Keep yourself busy for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I have a clothing line as well online.
Yeah, I know.
So, at first with the clothing, what I was doing was...
Because with the truck.
Yeah, so I had a screen printing company, so I learned how to screen print. I taught myself how to do all that. And then I was trying to sell the shirts that I screen printed online. And screen printing is a daunting process. That shit takes a long time to make one shirt. So then I found this thing called drop shipping, where someone else prints and ships it once an order comes in. You just make the money, you know what I mean? You pay them to do it, you put the profit as what you want, and you sell it. So I'm like, wow, now I'm really going to promote my clothing now that I don't have to print every single shirt. My friend who works on the truck now, he told me about this thing called Upwork. And Upwork is a site where you pretty much find freelancers, right?
Okay.
So I posted this grandiose message saying, you know, what's the position, how much does the position pay? And I said $1 million. And what I said was, you know, this budding clothing brand in an emerging market needs someone to market the company, you know? And how I want to do it is every shirt sold, I will give you $1.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to market it or sell it or whatever, you know, the goal is to sell 1 million shirts. Because it's in this market of veganism, we went from in 2015 and prior, 1% of the population. From 2015 to 2017, it went up to 6% of the population. We're up to 20 million vegans in the U.S. alone.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing goes viral, you sell to like one, you know, a small fraction of them, you're doing it. And then also, this is shipping throughout the world too. So I have access to vegans across the globe. So this number appears to be rather attainable. Doesn't seem to be out of the realm of possibility as long as I do it properly. So I let it sit there. I get like 5 messages, you know, like people really are like, wow, like that was like the best like post I've ever seen on this site.
Mm-hmm.
So I go through it, you know, there's some guys from Florida and his wife, and there's this one guy from the Philippines, and his name was Jericho. And he sent me this proposal, you know, about all this, that, and the other thing. And he's like, yo, first of all, like, this is the biggest opportunity I've seen on this site. Like, I'd love to be a part of it. I am the man behind the curtain of a lot of companies' campaigns, including Burt's Bees and a few other ones. I forgot the other ones. So like, he does the back end work for that stuff and promotes it. And he's been looking for an opportunity just like this where he can tap into the company in order to make money off of it, because he's worked with these other companies. He wouldn't show me the name of the brand or the name of the company, but he showed me their numbers. And one of them, since he took over, went from like every quarter it was doing like 116,000, 120,000, then it jumped up to like 300,000 in sales. And then this other one, it was another company, and he had like a further away position in it, but they were doing like $1 million a quarter. So this guy like has seen it work. Like he has seen the internet make money for people, and he's just trying to, he's going to now try to figure it out in this project. So that is what is going on with Try Vegan Clothing right now.
How many shirts have you sold?
Like 10, like, and that's over the past course of the year. Like not even like with this, because we haven't done that yet. What I did was I promoted the website after drop shipping, and I added all my designs, because on my old website I could only have the designs that I had printed already, and I was limited by color, because in screen printing, you need different colors, and you need more screens. So with this, all my designs are on the site. Now you have to print it. So
Do you ever get in trouble for any of the designs?
I don't think I will or can. You can't get in trouble for using a font.
Well, you can.
Well, if it's the trademarked font, you can. Right. If it's like a freelance font, it's all right.
So you're not tracing anything? You're finding the actual font and
right, and redoing it. It's just in that design. But you figure, there are companies that are the online retailer of clothing, and like I could be that as well. You don't even need a storefront. All I need now is like the front end, which would be like, I want to find someone who, people who are listening out there, if you are a hot vegan, I need someone with a lot of followers. I need someone to help run my marketing for my clothing line. What I want, honestly, is I want like someone with like a couple 100,000 followers, and what they do is they're the marketing end, so they wear the brand, they represent the brand, and they get a cut of the sales as well.
I forgot you were recording this.
That's like, so Bill's been on it, right? And Bill listens, and he's listened to like ones where like we've had mutual friends on, and he finds himself like talking out loud, like trying to have the conversation with us. Dude, it's ridiculous. Oh, did I tell you this show made iTunes history?
How?
Dude, listen to this. So, the guy who told me I should do this podcast, he can get a little more information than most. Like where I said, iTunes doesn't give you your numbers as how many people you're talking to. This guy has the access to that information, so he's going to get that information for me and tell me how many people are actually listening. So I have no idea. But, so this guy told him this, right? I was 8 episodes in, and I had already received my first comment, which to me, that it took 8 episodes. Are you kidding me? Like, what the fuck? Why isn't anyone listening yet? He called me and told me that I was the first. I got a comment earlier than any show in iTunes history.
Oh, really?
In history of iTunes.
Who was the comment by?
Some woman, Jungle Jane. She said, "I don't."
So it wasn't your friend?
No, I don't know who she is. No friends have commented on my iTunes. So if you're a friend of mine and you're listening to this shit, you better tell people you like it. What was I saying?
I forgot. Rewind it.
Damn it, it was good too.
Oh, comments.
So,
Send the story. Go all the way back to it.
I think that was it though. Like the point, I got the point across. I was like the earliest show to ever get a comment in iTunes history. And so that's the way you see how geniuses overlap sometimes. So that's me and Steve Jobs just going, "Hey bud, I see you."
You're right.
Like, thanks for inventing iTunes so I can go out and do this.
Just crossing streams.
Yeah. He's going, "I see what you're doing," and I go, "I see what you did."
How do you normally record people?
I usually walk around with a wire.
No, I mean for this show.
And I go, "Hey, you want to be on a podcast?" In my bag right now, I have like this setup, like recording. Not like, it's like one mic and it's like a recording device. And then I started using my phone And the phone, like the microphone setup that I have, picks up the whole frequency of sound, whereas the phone is designed to pick up voice tones or whatever. So if you're listening to this right now and you like the quality, this is how good like the government can hear you if your phone is just on the table.
No, they tapped your microwave.
It's so funny that like the crazy people in the 80s who were saying, yo, they're listening in the telephone, they're listening in the TV, listening in the computer. Well, that's all one device now, and they are listening in it. Like, these crazy people just got the message too early, and people were just like, the fuck are you talking about?
I eat the whole bag.
You just ate this whole bag of hot buffalo wings? Contains wheat?
I started on the train.
Dude, I used to house pound bags of pretzels in like a few hours.
I know.
You'd watch me.
But you would always get like plain pretzels.
Dude, I would get...
You get boring pretzels.
I would get Kidzels. Because they had fun shapes and they had honey in them.
You like get the honey wheat braids.
No, I wouldn't. That wasn't me, man. People like them, but
I like those.
Yeah, they're
You're
good.
the first person to give me those.
Yeah, they weren't my favorite pretzel by any stretch of the imagination.
No, you like plain boring pretzels.
Listen, ABC pretzels were my pretzels. ABC pretzels, they existed back in the 90s. Then they disappeared until I found them again at Wegmans. And so what happened was they're every single letter of the alphabet. So that's like 26 molds for pretzels that they have to have. So you figure they're losing money. So like that's why they stopped making them. You know, and then I found them again, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I found these pretzels again. And then I realized those bags were 1.5-pound bags. And I started eating those like every 2 days. So I became a junkie, you would say.
Dude, you would buy like boxes of pretzel rods.
Dude, remember that time? Were you there that time I walloped my head at the shore house?
I don't remember.
Dude, one time I woke up, I was so hungover, and I was going to the bathroom, and I leaned into the door and just, pow! Nailed my head.
Which house was that?
This was the blue one. This is the blue shore house.
The shit one?
Yeah.
The good one?
Yeah. And I fucking nailed my head and threw up immediately. Dude, that blue shore house, remember how the shower wouldn't run because the guy next door was filling up his pool?
The shower roof was a garbage bag.
Dude, the shower roof, it wasn't attached to the house. How would you describe it? How would you even describe this thing?
It was like an outhouse, but a shower.
It was unattached to the house, but attached to the house by a tarp. And there were nails coming out of the ceiling. And the water was coming from the same source as the house next door, I guess.
The hose.
So if he was using the hose to fill up his pool, let's say, we couldn't shower for the next hour or so.
Well, that house he couldn't rent out in the winter because it didn't have heat.
We stayed there an extra month.
So he had to drain all the lines every year.
What was your favorite memory? I remember that day was me, you, and Snapshy and Gil, and we realized we were all cancers walking to the beach, and we were all so different as humans. He drove a Subaru, tattoos.
Oh, you still talk to that guy?
He works at AutoZone now. I used to have to drive him to ShopRite.
I remember.
Yeah, and then he was back at ShopRite. Now he's like at AutoZone, and he's finally like happy, with what he's doing. Whereas at ShopRite, he was just like, oh, I fucking hate my life. I mean, he's still like that, and he's always gonna be like that. But at least now, like, I can tell him to shut the fuck up about it, because like it's not that bad anymore.
So wait, we're just walking to the beach. That was your favorite moment?
It stood out. It was just interesting how like we all realized at that moment we were all cancers who drove sticks. What else? And we're all so uniquely us. And we have nothing to do with each other, you know what I mean? Like, if we belong in different cliques, but like we're all right there at that moment, just like existing, being buds. And what I realize is, like, as long as you're like a real person, it doesn't matter where you come from, or what you're into. It's like real people are just like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah. Can you imagine like how much it would suck if like every single one of your friends was exactly like you?
That's a lot of people, and they're comfortable with it. They appreciate it, and they want to be more like the group, so they do things that the group does, just to be like the group.
I don't know. Actually, you and I should not be friends.
Dude, we used to drink every fucking night.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, my liver just couldn't take it. Did I tell you why I stopped drinking?
Gym bucket? Oh, you had hangovers for like 5 days?
Well, yeah, all the above. But where it really came to a head is when I was in Thailand, and I had 2 beers. 2 beers. And the next day I was throwing up. That's when I realized, okay, this stuff does not belong in my body. And that was like last January, not this January. So like I don't even drink anymore. I don't know I don't know how I did this or where this came from. You know how it, honestly, where it started, if you really want to put a beginning to it, I started meditating. That's really what did it. I started meditating, and then I went vegan after I started meditating. It was the meditation, and then like just things started like becoming this.
Well, you stopped eating dairy first, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And then...
Well, no, because when I stopped eating dairy, a week after I became vegan. So I was still having dairy when I was meditating. I didn't tell anyone.
Well, you would have to take the lactates, at least.
Yeah.
So you cut down on cheese a lot.
What's really wild is like when I quit my job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I had people in my life. You know what I mean? I had all my friends in my life, and life is great. I love all my friends. And then I started on this path of this try-vegan. And like on this path, I've also found new friends that like are just as good, and like I wouldn't have met them if I didn't go out on my own. And they've been beneficial to me on the path that I've been on. And if I wasn't on the path, I wouldn't have met them. And it's like a mutually beneficial thing.
Right.
And like because I did this, like everyone that I meet is growing, and I'm growing with them and from them. It's like fascinating, dude. Like Missy, dreadlocks, we met in Philly that one time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome. That was that was just when we were friends. So for the last year, we've been something. We've definitely been something. We've been, it just works really well. And we get along really well. And, but through that time, like, she wanted to become a yoga teacher. So we were outside my backyard. I took mushrooms, and she was going to teach me how to do yoga. And that was like the first time, that's one of her first time instructing someone. And I told her at that moment, I was like, yo, you're going to be great at this. Like, the way she knows the anatomy and all that, like, she's really, really smart. Sure enough, you fast forward a few months, and she's the manager of a yoga studio in Princeton. Through, like, the most incredible sense of, like, synchronicity, we wound up going to this place, Lifetime Fitness in Princeton, right? Mm-hmm. She was having a really shitty day. And I was like, let's just go check this place out. Because it was a gym that hadn't opened yet, but I wanted to see what it was all about. And I wanted to like, see if she can teach yoga there. So we go there, and I ask him about a membership, blah, blah, blah. And then I tell him the real reason I'm there is because my friend Missy, who's sitting with me, is a yoga instructor. She wants to see what she'd have to do to be a yoga instructor here. Would you believe that the yoga audition was the next day? So because she was having a shitty day and we drove there, like she had this opportunity in front of her. She's told the person in charge of it is this person. She finds out this person who is in charge of finding the yoga instructors for this gym is the person who trained her at Yoga Stream to be a manager.
Oh, really?
So she finds that shit out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that happens. She's a yoga instructor there. And then she's teaching her first class, right, at Lifetime Fitness. And, like, I'll never forget, like, a year ago, like, she was just instructing this class, and, like, her body looked amazing. Like, she just, a perfect specimen. Like, she'll be right here in front of you, she just flip on her hands. Uh-huh. Like, as easily as you can stretch your arms, she could, like, flip on her hands and just be in a handstand. So I see her, like telling people what to do, and, like, so wise. And I'm like, who is this person in my life? Fast forward like 2 weeks, and we start banging. Yeah, and it's been cool. It's been a lot of fun. But then I was able to see her go from teaching me in the backyard, to managing this yoga studio in Princeton, to working at this gym, Lifetime Fitness, in Princeton, which now goes from like a yoga studio and expands into a whole gym.
Mm-hmm.
So she now has access to all of these people who not just people who are going to a yoga class or at a yoga studio. These are people who are
at
so
the gym.
It's a bigger audience. It's a way bigger room, and I got to see her in that room of like 35 people, and what she told me is her the person who owns the studio, Lara, who trained her, who's like an amazing yoga instructor and, you know, teacher and trainer, she gets 22 people in her classes every morning. Now Missy is getting 35 people in her class. That's
cool. That's funny.
It's fucking crazy, man.
Have you been doing yoga?
I incorporate yoga into like my whatever I do every day, you know, because like at this point, like I could play basketball for 20 minutes, then lift some weights. I could do yoga. I could run a couple miles. I could bike. I could row. Like I just really like using my body, you know, whatever I feel like doing that day, rather than like, all right, you're doing legs, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Yeah.
Like, if I feel shitty about my legs, I'm gonna work on legs. If I feel like I want to, like my abs are slacking, I'm gonna do some cardio and I'm gonna hit my abs, you know.
Yeah, I go to the gym and I'm there for like 30 minutes because it's overcrowded and I get annoyed and I leave.
Oh, that's the fucking worst.
I only really have time to do it like after work. So
yeah,
like,
and that's what time everyone's there.
Yeah.
Do you still play soccer or no?
I just started up, dude.
Good for you.
Like 3 weeks ago. I suck.
Do you?
I suck so bad. Yeah.
What is it?
Like I forgot. Like I don't have the same like grace that I had. You know, like
Not as smooth.
Yeah, like you've lost like the fluidity of it. You know, like you're kind of stiff. You know, when you know.
Gotcha.
Like when you know something and you're doing it. You don't do like boxing moves, you know the path of least
yeah, you flow better.
Yeah,
gotta get back into it. You're
using
using your brain and you're
yeah,
not
it was
flowing.
like water flowing instead of like ice crashing, you know.
You gotta get the rust out.
Yeah, but also just like you don't see it the same way. You're lazy. You're out of shape.
Yeah, you're older.
Your touch is gone.
But you can get it back.
Oh yeah, like even so we had 4 like 40-minute games or whatever, and already it's like it's starting to like come back, like little things that you do, like start playing one touch. Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's mostly just a beer league, so it's not really that big a deal.
True.
It's just weird like seeing yourself like suck at something that used to mean so much to you.
Oh, that
Yeah.
hurts. It hurts to hear.
Yeah, like I know there's a 16-year-old version of me, or a version of me from like 3 years old till like 20, that just fucking hates me.
Oh no!
You know?
Oh god! What are you gonna do about it?
They're just like you old washed up piece of shit.
That's so harsh.
You used to be cool, man. It's like that type thing. And they're not even like pissed, they're just like super bummed.
Are you gonna do anything for him? Are you gonna try for him? Or
No.
You're just gonna shake your head at him and say sorry.
Yeah, sorry. You had your shot, kid.
Oh god. No, Jim, stop.
No, it's just turning into something else, you know.
Yeah.
Like right now,
You'll get it back.
it's
You're
a
still
social
young.
thing, you know. It's
Yeah.
like the whole point of it is to make it to the bar afterwards, and I'm playing with a group of people who are really cool, and I enjoy Tuesdays now.
I guess that's good then.
You know.
That's so funny. It's all your perspective, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about selling it to yourself.
Right? Dude, I was rationalizing. It's a terrible thing. You know how easily I used to rationalize? Let me have another Red Bull just so I can stay up till like 3 a.m.
Just cause.
Dude, I loved them. Like, I loved them.
I know.
Like, a Red Bull, oh my god, a nice Red Bull. Oh,
And then you got on to the iced lattes, the Dunkin' Donut.
Oh my god, dude!
Remember the Milky Way Frappuccino from
Green Planet?
Dude, so probably 2 or 3 years ago, Luke was in between jobs, and my dad and I had like a little thing, and we're like digging footing. So I was like, Luke, come work with us for a couple weeks. You know, Luke's handy. So on the way back, I was like, Luke, I'm treating us to these coffees. Just wait. And he thought that it was like a really like nice coffee shop, nice coffee, and I go 2 Milky Way Frappuccinos.
Did you like them?
Oh yeah, he loved them, but he was like really embarrassed to like even touch it.
Dude, I had the worst order at Starbucks. Listen to this whole Starbucks hat on me. So I would wake up in the morning, I would go all the way to Freehold because that was the closest Starbucks to me. So
you know Starbucks like tastes like shit, right?
Dude, stop. I would drive 25 minutes there just to grab one, just to give them like $5 or $6.
You white girl.
For one caramel frappuccino with soy milk. Ugh. I would have to say that every time. The first time I said it, I was so uncomfortable saying it. And then, like, you know, then I just accepted it. And I just said, okay, this is my order now. And I just started saying that every time, not realizing, like, anyone hearing me say that was probably like, oh my god. What a
You would drive 20 minutes just to go to Starbucks?
And then I have to go all the way back home. So I would burn an hour and $6 just over something that isn't necessary. Ah, that's caffeine. That's addiction. That is an addiction.
But that's a little different than caffeine. Like if you're addicted to caffeine, then you're fine with drinking Folgers. Because I'm addicted to caffeine. If I don't have caffeine, if I don't have coffee in the morning, I'm shot. I have a headache for the rest of the day.
That sucks. I don't want to have that feeling.
So like on the way to work, whatever's the closest thing, that's what I grab.
My thing is I don't want to let something outside of me have that kind of control on me. You know, I don't want to wake up in the morning with a headache if I don't have a substance.
Well, it's like if I don't have it by like 11.
Yeah, I was there. I was in it. I was in that shit so heavy. And then I changed my way of thinking. I was just like,
like coffee is now just like a routine. It's just like, you know, using the bathroom in the morning. It's like part of what you do.
I know. For some people, they can control it. For me, I can't control it. So if you can control that,
I also just like coffee. That's okay.
I wish you know what I'm doing? I found this stuff called Maya nut, and it tastes like coffee. So you can have that without the caffeine. It's just like a bean. What?
Like the way like you talk about it, like you think that like you've been through rehab a few times because you're finding like all these ways like to get around it, but like still get it. but like we're not talking about like heroin. We're talking about coffee.
Thank God. Thank God that's like my addictions have been like, but why have they been so generally accepted? You know, like sugar. Oh my God, I was addicted to sugar.
Because like you're not like I'm not saying that addicts are shitty, but you're not like looking for that type of thing.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's the same. It's just more acceptable to have like, you know, a soda in your fridge than it is like Coke in your cabinet, like cocaine. You know. Yeah, like,
well, I mean
kind of addiction.
No. Like they have two totally different effects.
Well, one. Sugar's more mild than cocaine, but like it still has that hold on you, and you can't get out of it. And it's a white powder that's just been like, oh, and there's so many ways to get it. Like if you don't like chocolate, you can like something chewy. You can have a drink. You can have this. You can have that. It's like.
Yeah, but I mean, I think. I think that's a weird comparison to make.
I mean, I live a weird life. Ooh, you're gonna tempt me with some sugar, huh?
It's all natural though, not refined.
What? How? Wait a minute.